looking to see what they can do that again. CT side, it was all about Mr. Kyron. He was really impressive. A lot of multi-frag holds coming through from him, and that's exactly where they start here on Anubis.
Well, let's take a look. We're jumping in towards Anubis, and BetBoom have decided to start on the CT side. There's a map, well, probably the only map in the pool which we can say actually kind of traditionally looked a little bit more in the side of T-sided fashion. Not a great start. Kyron dropping down, 180 not quick enough. Kyron makes it 2. They continue to feed him, and Kyron continues to feast. 4K for the youngster. BetBoom find the first round on their opponent's map pick. Not a bad start at all. That is really solid. Kyron just goes on an individual tirade there and is unstoppable.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Big fan. Love to see it. All that good stuff from the BetBoom side of things. And a perfect way to kick off your opponent's map pick, right? OG have just come off the back of a tough loss, and now they are in an uphill battle on their own map pick. So it really is going from bad to worse for OG, isn't it? You have to feel for them in a sense.
Yeah.
At the same time, fantastic individual performance from Kyron, and a big kickoff. I think something to consider here, Neo, is the fact that BetBoom have actually opted to start on that CT side. It's not commonly what you see. However, I will say that, you know, their CT side had a lot of ups and downs on Overpass, so maybe feeling a little confident after closing things out. They want to tap into some of that power. Ooh, from the start, they get completely overwhelmed, though, in on that B bomb site. Definitely were not expecting just a straight-up dry peek round the corner. And with only Glocks, 2 kills in a bomb plant so far, it is the beautiful moment, right? We say that an awful lot. 2 kills in a bomb plant is the bare minimum of a round like this, but also a good target to hit, and that is exactly what they do. So not going to pick up the round, not going to be that crazy. Still, nice little result for them.
Not bad. Not too bad. And I think, you know, realistically, like we said, that's a round in which is a bit of a throwaway. So walking away with a couple of kills. We take it up on plant. All pretty good, all things considered. However, right now, we need to see OG start to find early form, right? The C side desperately needs to get going, and, you know, sooner rather than later. Not exactly being the kind of the dream start. This series so far exactly hasn't been a walk in the park. BetBoom playing some great Counter-Strike. And of course, deservedly in the position that they are in right now. Nade's coming through for Zorta. Don't really catch all too much. I mean, it's just much kind of slower take here by OG. But this is, like we said, it's the only map which we can make any sort of argument to actually being T-sided. OG need to put up a strong performance here. No BetBoom. As T-sides go, pretty damn strong. And they can be pretty damn scary too. Fasher getting close over towards Hieroglyphs right now. Not all too much being offered up.
It's a quiet one to kick us off, it really is. OG and Regali in particular looking for ahead. It's Fasher, though, who's been annoying from Dark down there. Again, a few oversights from BetBoom. It does seem there are some gaps in the defense. Caught off by a bursting pistol round in the previous, and opting to fight in towards Dark. Not the most common move. Usually you just keep that hidden away for as long as you possibly can. Nice find from Zorte through the smoke. Cool, and he's close to another one. 3 versus 2, but it hangs tentatively, to be fair. Nafany strikes at the opportune moment. However, no support around for him to get it done. But, I mean, look at this, man. 27 HP is not an awful lot for the OG boys between the two of them.
Yeah.
And Zorte on a reposition as well. I like this.
He might go overlooked a little bit here as well. He's got to give this a go, surely. I think one of them is unconfirmed damage, but you've just got to give this sort of an attempt, right? Nade coming through. Unfortunately, no one is there. One close on the crack angle, and Regali will see it off. It was definitely a bit of a sigh of relief that round. OG, that was shaky right at the end. As you mentioned, 27 points of HP between the two of them. Very winnable for the CT side, but not in that instance. Doesn't cross the pixel peak quick enough. So OG will find their first on the first full buy, which is a very positive sign. Now, again, it comes down to this consistency. Can they continue to put these sort of rounds on the board? BetBoom. It's a forced investment, but they're left with really not all that much to work with. 1-4 lands Azorta. Chiron on towards at FAMAS. And then just a few pistols to round it out. Not even really a gamble stack here. It's a pretty standard setup. We got a 2B, 2A, 1 mid. It's the pretty classic meta of what your setup would look like on the CT side if you had a full buy. I'm surprised you haven't seen kind of BetBoom maybe lean into a little bit more of a gamble and see whether essentially the 50-50 pays off.
True. Do something a bit more original. But it seems that's quite what they're going to do. They tried to get that M4 in action with a boost. Doesn't happen. And back down to a quiet one. I mean, maybe the side of OG tentative here, unsure of how to kick it off. Keto, though, will creep forwards, and that, to be honest, should seal the deal, unless Danis can pop off with the 5-7.
No.
Nafany's got him covered on the way out as well. Oh, my goodness. BetBoom up, it off. Oh, and the coordinated double headshot to close the round out is absolutely gorgeous to look at.
That was a beautiful round. That was so well played from BetBoom. Like we said, it's a pretty meta setup, which usually warrants kind of these lesser buys, actually very weak and vulnerable, basically, because they can just get overwhelmed. Firepower doesn't really help them, but a little double with Denitz and the 5-7 and some sumptuous deagle shots put BetBoom into a lovely position. OG don't even get near to the bomb site. That is really worrying. BetBoom should find a fourth here as well. They should pull ahead pretty early. Chiron, so quick, man. Fasher barely even gets a look in.
Another tough round for OG to stomach. We shall have to see here whether they are indeed capable. Certainly not looking too likely in this one. They have just been bested by the pistols themselves, so we know anything is possible, and there's been a few of those in this series. It seems BetBoom are somewhat immune in this round. No even points of damage really being done.
Let's take a look. This feels like a bit of a throwaway. Nafany. Hello. He's in trouble now. Dropping the smoke. I feel like he may not get away with this. He fought time. In fact, the support's come through and Chiron will see it off. So, just to say, I don't think he'll get away with this. It keeps him alive. BetBoom. 3-round lead. And OG, I think, left scratching their heads just a tad. Right now, into a buy once again. They need to find consistent success, though, and that has eluded them. Not only throughout this map so far, but honestly throughout the series. Let's see, man. Yeah. Let's see what can happen going forward. But you do get a little bit worried about OG. It's not exactly been the dream start so far. They, in my eyes, kind of got to win out the half here, unless I'm, or else I'm not really convinced. And so far, I'm not feeling all too convinced.
Yeah, this is kind of the difficulty, isn't it? Like we said, it's a map that it feels like OG are working on. I don't know that it's been the cleanest veto from them. It'll probably continue to be a narrative as the series continues here. It just hasn't popped for me, It's a bit like, well, you've only played it a few times. Not really found a victory yet. You've come close, Sure, you got to keep working on it. It maybe feels like they are forcing the Anubis into their map pool ever so slightly. And when it comes to online, a team that you've not played, some of these players you've not even really played against. I don't know that, OG have met Zorte very often, for example. So there's a lot of unknown variables when it comes to a map pick like this. And already it is starting to blow back in their face. We've seen some pretty awesome rounds from BetBoom so far, and we're only on the CT side as well. So there's all this floodgate to come into the second half, that's for sure. Big nade. Okay. Let down. Still decent damage on Fiku, but I felt like it was going to absolutely demolish them. What about this one? And again, a letdown. The nades are not on our side. However, the bullets looking good for BetBoom. 3 quick kills. Nexa just saves his teammate there. Regali will have gotten, you know, Nexa saved you from Chiron. Still, he's only not looking to push up into B main as well. Big. A little bit of damage at the end, but nowhere near winning the round.
Yeah. Well, again, another round for BetBoom, which it's honestly just too easy, isn't it? Right? They're looking over towards that B side, and let's be honest, the A side, may I say? Sorry, it's one of those it's one of those sites. It's very difficult to break down. You had the right utility coming through, and it just wasn't very good from OG. Very shaky, no trays. The spacing seems really poor. And it just allows BetBoom just too much freedom to work with it. Of course, OG back to a lesser buy. It's kind of been a story of a rinse and repeat. Poor buys. Not amounting too much. Full buys being rough. They're running out on towards this B site now. Daditz is here. Daditz is cleaning house alongside Chiron. Fash has got an AK, but not for much longer. It's a consolation kill, but it's BetBoom, and they are pulling away. Scriv, this is seriously one-sided.
Yeah. And I mean, as we talk about sometimes in games like this, it's not necessarily like scoreline-wise, which is already pretty good for BetBoom, but it's just the development of the rounds from OG in particular, the fact that there is very little threat to the BetBoom side at the moment, and a good indicator of that, if maybe you are a bit newer to watching the game, when a CT side is comfortable to buy for maybe 2 losses in a row, as BetBoom are, you can probably say that they're in a very comfortable position. They've been winning quite cleanly because the CT side is that edge more expensive, and it does make a difference when they're having to rebuy constantly. I like this move from Nafany. Will get taken out instantly. I thought Fiku might go down there as well with a nade in hand, an unexpected moment. But not the way it pans out. A quick 1-for-1 as well from the AWP. I think the big one is Regali found a kill towards B on a player outstanding over there. He's looking for another one as well. So this actually looks good for OG. A man advantage.
All looks quiet too. It's actually the right way to play it. OG just pumping the brakes ever so slightly. Waiting for an overextension. But BetBoom is sticking around towards B. Oh, just as I say that, Chiron's going for a little walk. So maybe not. Oh, hang on a second though. Chiron's punished Keto. Rotating in, a missed shot from Regali. You've got to hit those. And now the script has flipped. Fasher, 1v2, and he gets deleted. How have OG lost that? They've got the numbers advantage. They've got the right idea. And they've got an ice to fight towards the site. Regali misses a shot, and the round just falls apart. Simple mistakes for OG, punishing them. And then I was 7-1 down. Yeah, that is rough. I think now there's probably massive cause for concern. This first half, it's looking absolutely dominant right now. There's just no real competition.
Yeah, it is kind of wild. I think we were expecting this one to be a bit closer just with the fact that we haven't seen BetBoom out on this map really at all. And so far, their first outing, at least with this lineup, is looking really, really good. Quick burst onto the B-bomb site has opened things up an awful lot, though. Siren will be the linchpin player there as he goes down without finding anything at all. So we were just singing the praises. Of course, as per usual, all it takes is a wild round to turn the tide, something that keeps you on your toes. BetBoom clearly take their eye off the ball for a moment, and they will drop around because of it.
It's also a keep out of the M. Actually, saying that, it might not. Keto, you got the right idea on the hunt. Seconds. Oh, well, actually, Keto to fall. These deaths mean more towards OG. BetBoom, it doesn't really matter. They got so much money left in the back pockets. OG don't. You have at least, enough for maybe 2 buys while on plants, and things go south once again. So, I'll play by OG. A bit of a, the tempo shift essentially coming through. A little bit quicker. Get up in the face. this and, well, just try and go quick, fast to site, get a bomb down, and essentially play off the back of the pressure of host one situation, which is exactly what you see there. So, nice and easy, nice and simple. I don't think BetBoom will fall for that twice, though. So it means the OG are going to start to have to piece rounds together in a slightly more normal fashion. But at 7-2 down as well, it is not exactly a dream already.
It's a question of now finding the rifle round, isn't it, really? I think that's where the struggle arises for OG. Yes, you can get those wild rounds, those sort of wake-up rounds, make sure that you're not asleep on the T side of things. And it works there, but can they convert it? 1 for 1 so far at Dark. Decent look, decent look. You know, low HP onto Danis here is good position for OG to be in, so a slim advantage that they may well be able to work with.
Danis playing around the smoke here. And Keto got a lot of space to work with. Hang on a second, he'll get a lot of free reign here. He will comfortably. Nafany doesn't even find any damage, in fact. This is now really uncomfortable. The Orc might just completely hightail it. Keto's running through it, just about staying alive, but he's getting more kills. Keto continues to deliver. Orc dropped and scooped up as well. I don't think they might not even opt for the Orc themselves. They've already got one in the hands of Regali. He's just making sure that BetBoom don't have it scooped up. And now OG are starting to look a little bit more alive in this game. Up to a third round. Can actually start to put together maybe 4 to 5 as well before the response comes through. So BetBoom from what looked like a really easy, comfortable start. Now, I don't know, a couple of question marks. That B-side hold is starting to be broken apart pretty comfortably.
This is it. This is it. This is where kind of that knowledge from OG playing against some of the bigger teams comes in handy. I do feel like there is a decent amount of potential here for them to close the gap. Certainly the way that the T side can work out on this map in particular, but we'll see. BetBoom still got plenty of time, plenty of space to work with, of course, and those timeouts as well. It would be great to see. I think it is kind of worth considering as well. I did think so, having a little double check here. In their game against Na'Vi, OG actually went down quite deep, so they are capable of the comeback on this map. Couldn't convert it against Na'Vi, but they brought it a hell of a lot closer than it should have been. I think it was like a 12-3 first half. So they have that capability in the back of their minds. It's just a question of tapping into it at the end of the day. So we'll see how these next few rounds go down. BetBoom still in a really comfortable position. 7-3, right? The door is completely wide open for that to go a hell of a lot further. And they will absolutely be looking to get their keen pickup from Mr. Zorte.
Already a little bit quiet right now. I mean, for OG, this has been a bit of a classic of them. Early bits of contact, early information, and then pump the brakes and try and wait for overextensions. But BetBoom haven't given them anything to work with. Water fan of that opener. And Danit's delivering with the AUG. Still a very viable gun, that AUG. The Krieg, not so much, but the AUG still absolutely a pickup that's worthy. Now Danit's shown. Fash is trying to get his way out of Hieroglyphs here. It's easier said than done, though. A little crossfire being set up. And around the corner, Nafany waiting. He walks in towards Chiron. It's a perfect setup. There is just no competition.
Nexer on the AUG. Can't find anything at all. So there's BetBoom right back in. Absolutely massive round. Perfectly executed from them. It looked like maybe OG had started to chip away, started to figure it out. But no, BetBoom completely upset that particular narrative. And of course do so without a pause as well, which I think is super effective. Very much looking forward to these next few rounds. And still kind of tentative. Still not got that cash that they had those few rounds ago. So incredibly comfortable has certainly gone by the wayside, right? OG are in a position where they can still close the gap if they pick up some straight fire rounds. Make sure there ain't no CT saving.
Double stacking the arrow towards Pillar. Not really too much being offered up just yet. Miss shot with the orb. He'll fall away. He's going to get up close. Behind that smoke. Continues to be a menace. Again, not really all too much being offered up here. OG look a little bit puzzled in my eyes. They just look lost. Don't know where to go. Don't know how to play their way in towards the sites. And BetBoom, there's not all too much that's being problematic. I still trade there from Siren. We'll drop Molotov as well. Force him through the smoke and gives himself time to fall away. Really well played.
Ooh, nice pickup from Zorte. That might start to hammer this one home. Siren in the off angle is easily able to eliminate Keto. Mr. Regali, the young gun, so much hype behind this guy. May well have been thwarted ever so slightly, perhaps not picked up fast enough by a high-level team. Difficult to say. Difficult to say at the moment. He's found the first in this 1 versus 4. Looking to get the second. He will do so indeed. There's just not enough time for him to, of course, find all these frags and get the bomb back. So, some nice kills, an opportunity to survive. Round itself not going to happen. Boom. Well on their way to threatening a 2-0 here.
I mean, the way they're playing, honestly, you'd probably make a pretty damn good argument for them deserving it. I really haven't seen them throughout this entire series ever looked under pressure. I mean, they called, what, 1 pause in the entirety of the first map? Yet to call one here. They just don't really look phased by anything OG are throwing them. I think this has been the question mark about this new look OG, is that, I don't know, they just don't have that same, maybe scariness the way they did on the Dexter. Obviously, there's definitely external issues when it came towards Dexter itself, but you can't take away his firepower. The man was an animal. So damn talented. And right now, OG just don't really seem to have that level of fear the way that the previous iteration did. Granted, they had their own problems, but... And right now, BetBoom, very, very comfortable. Just a pistol for Fiku. Not exactly a dream. Definitely going to reclaim space in towards mid. A little jiggle peek. Not going to commit too much to it. I don't mind that play either.
Slow wind up towards this A-bomb site here now. The utility is pretty basic though, isn't it? There's not an awful lot to work with. The flash is good, but there's just a few too many bodies around, I think. Really going to be tough to break in here. They're so ready for an 8-hit. However, entries are slowly on their way, and Nexa from middle could be annoying here. Siren at the back of the site can't stay alive. 2 versus 2, definitely did not see it going this way. There is a flank coming through relatively quick. There has yet to get the bomb down. Danis, this is the perfect spot, my friend, to drop them. Zorte trying to be the distraction. Flash comes round. Oh, he's all alone now, though. The Org will get it done, however. Denies the bomb plant for good measure. And double digits for BetBoom.
This is just a massacre. I really just don't see that much that OG can throw back in towards this game. I mean, you were talking about as well that Na'Vi game, right? 12-3 down at the half, and they can, you know, pull off these comebacks and get back in towards games. But right now, they're just not showing anything. This is a map in which, well, the kind of the narrative and story start to change around it. It still remains probably the only map in the pool where we could probably say it leans in favor of the T side to some degree. Yeah, and right now, just nothing offering up. Very early Molotov. Zorta actually under a lot of pressure here. Aggro warping, I love this. Zorta, so unfortunately, gets the leg there. And now it all comes down to the retake. Big nade to come through, a dunker on towards the feet of Keto. Nothing he can do. They try to fly their way in. But in comes Nafany on the flank, and Fash has got no hope in hell.
It's just so good, man, and they're always set up in a position to pull off these flanks, aren't they? Really, really impressive from BetBoom, honestly. They have been eluded by Fasher on the Mac-10 with the bomb in hand. So they certainly don't rightly know where to look at the moment. At the same time, Fasher, unfortunately for him, didn't really understand how good he had it for a second. Could have crept round, could have get that bomb down and just soften the blow ever so slightly from OG. Now, BetBoom have repositioned. They've kind of figured out, okay, he could be in the back halls. Still looks good for a bomb plant, though. It's not solidly repositioned. However, the round itself not going to happen. Nafny flies around to pick him off. 3K from the IGL. Actually having a fantastic game right now, isn't he? 19-2-6.
Yeah.
Head and shoulders above the rest of the crowd.
He's doing pretty damn well. I gotta give him his credit. Nafny, he's been pretty proactive. He's actually playing in I've got multiple names, but I call it dark. It's, you know, in towards that backhand side of B, right? In towards the cubby. It's actually a pretty tough position because pretty much most bits of util are thrown in that direction, whether there's nades or molotovs. You're always forced into engagements. And yeah, I mean, Nafny's doing really well. He's been walking with kind of a kill around, which is pretty damn good when he's playing there. And of course, when he's playing on rotate to retake, he's mopping up a good few. So really impressed with him so far. 14 rounds played, 19 kills is not bad from the IGL. Of course, there's been lots of question marks, but he was on the cloud9 about his firepower and impact, and well, even his calling, and all seems to be working out damn well. Right about now. 11 is what they found. If they can get 12 at the turn of the half, my mind seems set on BetBoom making this a 2-0. Well, let's see. Kyron behind the smoke, waiting for someone to peek their head forward. Regali and Fiku got a lot of space to work with themselves. Kyron takes a lot of damage to their nade there, though.
Yeah, quite a lot. Pretty deadly. Still, BetBoom leading the charge, leading the way in right there. Always in a good position here. Keto has crept round, completely catching off one. Needing more, though. We need a multi-frag moment here from OG. Not sure if it's going to come. Not sure if it's going to happen. Down goes Danis. Down goes Dorte. Before he finds one, though. However, there's only one remaining. Siren going to be known. Fiku finds him. Get him on the AWP more often, apparently. 11-4 for BetBoom. Certainly feels like it should be enough for a 2-0 here, but it is indeed going to heat up into this second half. Join us in a few. Hey, yo, welcome back, Counter-Strike enjoyers. Half number 2 between BetBoom and OG. It's so far been the BetBoom show. A few rounds in there for OG. Very sporadic. Not much of the big old consistency. BetBoom, meanwhile, some really dominant ones from them. So they are in prime position to get this 2-0 here, move into that upper bracket side of things. OG will have their work cut out in the lower bracket, and there are some scary teams that could potentially be waiting for them down there. Either way, we are on to B. BetBoom going to be given the space, given the respect, I suppose, to get that bomb down. So a full-on 5 versus 5 retake on the cards.
Yeah, this is going to be not the easiest. They put the pressure onto OG immediately. But Fasho will deliver with the first. Nafny to 4, we were praising him in that first half. Not a bad one from him. 21 kills when he got to the end. But Fico and Keto coming alive. And it is a flawless retake. Well played from OG. They were in desperate need of a pistol. And it comes at the cost of no one's life. That is exactly what OG needed to kickstart their CT side. They were in a tough predicament. And they've picked a perfect time to come alive.
It's good. It's good, right? It's that scoreline that we talk about. There's a few words people usually say. It was probably overused for a little while, but they were everywhere for a time, 11-4s. Don't know what was happening, but there was a good 6-month period. And then there were a good number of comebacks as well. So picking up the pistol, getting the conversions, certainly can put you in a good position to close that gap. However, the hard work has only just begun. BetBoom are immediately in for a buy. They are picking up the pace here. Regali will be the first one to get caught off guard by the bare bones peak from the BetBoom boys. And they find themselves that all-important man advantage.
Flash going to come through. Kyron, though, finding Fiku. 5-on-3. Do they continue to commit? Molotov comes down at the right time. Danita's boosted above the smoke here as well. So he knows for a fact no one's in towards Cubby. No one's in that kind of dark corner. Flash coming over, avoided for the most part. Nectar not able to punish. On Danita who's crossing. Siren quick on the trade. This round is surely done here because one by one they peak and one by one they fall. All down to Keto. In a 1v4 and an eye on impossible round, this should be BetBoom answering back in what is the more important one. It's all well and good finding a pistol, but the force buys are more important. We know it, and I'm sure they definitely do know it. You've got to be confirming those kills too. Nafany bunny hopping away, keeps his life intact. Same might not be able to be said here for Keto. Right idea when he fluffs his lines. So Keto now just head in a swivel trying to stay alive.
Nice shot from Zorte to see him off, pin him to that back wall, make sure there is absolutely no rifleage into the next round. Will probably be a force up here from OG, but straight back to the drawing board, man. And as we've talked about many times over our tenure as commentators, it's kind of worse than losing the pistol being in a position like this, especially on the CT side, man. Like, your build-up of cash just becomes so damn slow.
Yeah,
and particularly when you're this far down, that is really, really detrimental. Knife in the back is never a good way to start a round off, but BetBoom just being nice guys, trying to give as much of an advantage across to OG as they possibly can.
Sorry, just a little love tap on towards Siren there. He's just starting off at 70 just to give OG a chance. It's respect from BetBoom, right? You know, I love it. I love it. But we'll see if anything comes from this OG, really. They got him out all too much here. They got such a low buy. A few deagles, 157. I mean, we said this before. We've seen a couple of these low buy rounds converted, but BetBoom normally not too fallible when it comes towards them. Let's see. Still looking roughly in the direction of B. Fasher will find the first. Chiron to fall. They're not going to opt to go and try and scoop up the weapon, but I like that kill. Cut kill, fall away, reset. Nafany getting in behind here. Might be caught after falling away at the worst time, and Nafany will punish.
Could get a little dangerous. There's not really a lot of presence. That smoke is not ideal. However, Zorte is aware. Perhaps it was all a bait. Either way, bomb plant coming in. And it was once a 4 versus 4. In a matter of about 3 seconds, it goes to a 4 versus 0. BetBoom holding the line, looking very, very comfortable while doing so. And now we are in a position, yeah, where they maybe just start to close this one out, man. Should be 14 pretty easily.
Yeah, little tech pause here as well. So hopefully nothing too problematic. We'll see. We'll see. But hopefully we can get back underway in just a mere moment.